today. Well, there was one over left, and England had to face up to Paul Adams. That was the man that Hansi Cronje threw the new ball to. Mark Butcher survived it. In fact, he hit a 4 through the covers. So the difference between the sides now, 159. Still a big advantage for South Africa. I mentioned earlier that England... When the sun set on the southwestern coast of Africa last night, England could reflect on a job well done during a steamy day in the field. 5 wickets for the first time at test level for Chris Silverwood, and what a fine performance that was. But a long rearguard is in line for the English batsman if the series is not to be lost here in Cape Town. As the sun rose on the 4th morning, there was a gentle breeze to accommodate the players. The 3rd day really had been a stifler. Hello to you and welcome to the highlights of the 4th day's play from Cape Town. An intriguing test match this, and one in which England have got a great deal to do if they are to save it. Now, the pitch still very good, straw-coloured, dry, ought to be good for batting. Some rough stuff though for Paul Adams to aim at. That may be a problem for England. Not much else wrong with the batting conditions. They're going to have to play well, and I think the start, the first sort of hour or two of this 4th day is very important. We'll pick it up with Mark Butcher and Michael Atherton at the wicket.
He's gone right across the left-hander. They all go up, and Sean Pollock has got an early breakthrough. Mark Butcher caught behind for 4, not adding to his overnight situation. And England in their second innings, 4 for 1.
Well, you couldn't have called it better. It was slightly wider than the first one, just angled away from him, and the faintest of outside edges. Almost no deflection either, but there was a clear nick, and umpire Curry didn't discernibly give him out. Instead, the batsman walked. He leaves for 4, and England 4 for 1. Well, that certainly was a rip snorter. First ball up. Also surprised that Hansi Cronje hasn't got a short leg in position, just particularly for a delivery like this. That could have gone anywhere.
Appeal for LBW, and umpire Mitchley will not give it. South Africans were very excited about that.
Well, there were 2 sounds here, that's why, and it could have been pad bat. Certainly did hit the pad and then flew away. Maybe his bat hit the pad on the way through. But as Trevor has said, a huge shout by the South Africans.
You see, he wasn't that far forward, and there's appeals there from Jonty Rhodes for a catch. Now, I think that what saved him here was the height. You see, it hits above the roll on the flap, and he's not that far forward, yes, but it's climbing still. This will give us even a better idea, and I think that was a good decision by the umpire. And the response from Nasser Hussein is to have a go at Donald and hit him for 6. And Donald makes sure that he walks very close to him to have a little word in his ear.
Well, it was a surprising shot, and it could have almost been reflex that he knew he was out the ball before. One doesn't know, and probably never will know. But huge tension.
Tremendous shot, I must say that. We know he likes to hook and pull, and he does so well. And to start with, they've only got the 1 man back. They often have 2 back for him and for Atherton, but at this stage, only Paul Adams down there at fine leg, and he hit it 2 square for that. This is Pollock. That's nicely played through mid-wicket by Atherton. Still, the outfield is fairly slow, so they only get 2. Oh, there'll be an appeal for LBW here. There's no shot was offered. And flicked the front of the pad on the way through to Boucher.
Well, this looked an excellent shot to me, straight up. Look at that. He didn't play a shot, and I'm afraid that's out.
I have to agree with you. I think that he was very lucky not to be given out, because there's no shot here. Does hit just outside the line of the off stump, but if you don't offer a shot, that doesn't matter. Was it going to hit the stumps? That's all that matters, and the umpire decided that it wasn't. Beautifully driven. That's a very good shot, because Donald is driving him onto the back foot, and to be able to come forward as quickly as that and get the full face of the bat to it, that's a magnificent shot.
Perfect balance. Good flow of the bat through the line.
Oh. Donald beats his man.
And in true great fast bowling fashion, finishes his follow through, almost standing right next to Nasser Hussein. So just enough distance for him to hear exactly what he's got to say about it.
Smash this away for 4 runs. Well, he's had his moments of problems and trouble here, Hussein, but he's responding well. He's playing positively. He's not going to allow the South Africans to dominate him.
And Donald tried a change of pace and unfortunately lost the length when he did so. Nasser Hussein very quick to seize the opportunity. He's not going to be ducking and diving, that's for sure.
They get 3 here. Adams, the man who's having to run from backward square leg. He made ground very quickly, quick enough for Hussein to not want the 3rd, but Atherton was coming back anyway. Online this time. Let's just watch Donald's body language. No, he's not good. Something. Top of the left thigh, is it? Groin. Inside top left thigh.
It's called old age, Ellen.
He's not going to complete the over. There's 2 balls to be bowled. And they'll be bowled by Jacques Cullis. Donald will leave the field. This is Pollock. Ah, now did he play at that? This is a really good shout. Well, I think Pollock's got reason to believe that Hussein didn't really play at that. But can the umpire be sure?
Pretty certain he didn't play at it, and it's not as high as the previous one. Whether it's come back enough, that's the only doubt. Come back a fair amount. Well, a bowler's umpire would have given that out.
It struck him outside the line, but he hasn't offered a shot. It's a good shot, 4 runs. Everything right with that stroke.
Cullis trying to get a little bit of a way swing, over pitching. Atherton really just leaning on this one, waiting for the ball to come right to him.
Wait, run. Suddenly realised there was one. Good fielding from Cronier. It's turned away through mid-wicket and will run away for 4. Nice timing, poor delivery.
A lot of confidence in that shot. It wasn't just a glide down the leg side. He really gave the wrist some work. Flicked it away past Gary Kirsten. A nightmare for the short leg, this one.
Hit him on the head. It doesn't hurt anymore.
It can stun you though a little bit. It's quite a loud noise, you can imagine, inside that helmet there. And really that's Can give you a headache. Fortunately, though, it's not going to put you in hospital. Nice take from Boucher there. Ball deflecting to his left.
Oh, Cullis can bowl all right. Beautiful delivery.
Lovely bowling.
It's in the air. And safe. This is Klusener's introductory delivery, and not a bad one either.
No, good one. Slanted in. And it was a hard, fast ball. It wasn't a sort of gentle loosener.
Oh, that's a beautiful delivery. Appeal for LBW. Out! A long consideration. Hussein stares at his bat. Umpire Kure has given him out. And Lance Klusener gets the breakthrough. Disbelief on the England captain. Came off his bat. And England lose their second wicket at 40.
Tremendous bowling from Lance Klusener. A little bit of swing. And there was just the thinnest edge from Nasser Hussein. That will have been terribly difficult for the umpire to tell. The point is that Klusener's got it to hold up from close to the stumps and move away a touch. And that was hitting middle stump. And Nasser Hussein's gone. He is absolutely distraught as I've seen him any time in the series. He's gone for 16, England 40 for 2.
Oh, there's another big appeal. That one is not out. Umpire Kure says missing leg, but Klusener has come thundering in here and created all sorts of mayhem, and England really are battling away. You can just see the you can see off stump, and it's probably hitting him on middle and leg, maybe even middle. Oh, suddenly everything just intensifies. A good stop at slip by Sean Pollock, and the end of a superb over from Lance Klusener. True mid-wicket. Donald has to give chase. He won't be too happy with that. Ooh, I tell you what, happy or not, he's made a good pick up and turn and throw, and Vaughan had to scurry.
It's not the first time in the game that people have had to be careful about a second run, because the ball slows up much sooner than you think. It gets halfway in its journey, and then look, the ball literally pulled up. And wonderful athletic fielding from Alan Donald, who's got an injury problem.
He's played that away nicely. Adams comes screaming around the boundary. Klusener. Long chase for Klusener. And 3 taken easily. Pulls it away. He's headed behind square along the ground. And the heavy outfield is going to slow it up enough for Adams to make a great stop.
Atherton thought that there was 3 in this. Well, he would have thought there was 4 when he hit it, but for Adams to save the 3rd, it's the recovery now that's so good. Vaughan decides to send Atherton back, so they only get 2.
And this is another lovely looking shot down the ground on drive. And Michael Atherton gets 2. Thoughts of a 3rd. And just as well they decided against it. Good bit of fielding by the South African captain. Oh, it's going to go away for 4. There was no price for Daryl Cullinan at slip. It was in the air, but it went very sharply to his right.
Just rushing onto him a little quicker than he might think, and thick edge for Atherton. Wide and short, though, deserved to be punished.
He's caught. Heard the nick, yeah. He pauses for a moment, and then he's on his way. And a little more effort there from Lance Klusener. He got it to bounce, and Vaughan rather carelessly sparred at it, got the nick on the way through to Boucher.
One of the things that Vaughan might have to work on in his test career is trying to work out accumulation shots where he can keep the scoreboard ticking without playing any flamboyant strokes, without much risk. And England precariously plays 59 for 3 now. Klusener strikes for the second time.
Is he out? Bat pad. What does umpire Kure say? The South African players are adamant. Atherton is unmoved. Umpire Kure is unmoved.
Well, it could just boil over here a little bit. There's been a few words between the England and South African players, and Cullinan getting involved. Doesn't need to.
Particularly involving Atherton. Remember the little bust-up between Atherton and Jonty Rhodes at St George's Park? That bat is still coming forward. There's no doubt it glances off the pad in the direction of the bat, and with the bat coming forward, I think that is the one that tells me he definitely hit it.
Atherton surviving that moment of controversy in the issue of the catch to a silly point meant that he got to lunch unbeaten on 34, but England in real trouble. 60 for 3 with Butcher, Hussein and Vaughan all gone. And I think we can say that Nasser Hussein was a little unlucky to get given out LBW, though it won't have been an easy one for the umpire to be certain that Hussein got an edge to it. The South African bowlers, Pollock has been good, 7 overs, 1 for 8. Lance Klusener, outstanding, 7 overs, 2 for 8. The Natal boys doing an extremely good job there. Well, it's not looking good for England, we have to say that. We'll take a short break, and when we come back, we'll have a look at the second session of play. Fourth test match. England are struggling. They're 3 down. At lunch, we'll pick it up now with Alex Stewart at the wicket with Michael Atherton.
That might be out, and is caught by Cullinan at first slip. Atherton goes, and surely that is the beginning of the end.
That is brilliant bowling, but an even more brilliant piece of fielding by Cullinan. Low to his left, and often the first slip can be forgiven in thinking this is the wicket-keeper's catch. But he has the presence of mind to still go for the ball and takes it almost as it goes behind him.
Excellent catch. First slip going to his left. It's something that happens so seldom because, as David Richardson says, the keeper normally catches those. Atherton caught Cullinan, bowled Pollock 35, and England in all sorts of trouble at 62 for 4. Adams. Stewart squeezes this backward a square. Donald in pursuit. Throw. That's nicely timed by Stewart. How the ball just holds up in that last 10 metres of outfield. End of the over, 66 for 4. Fielded. Grenier.
Here's Adams. To Stewart. Oh, he's bowled in! Played over the top, and Paul Adams has taken the key wicket of Alex Stewart at a crucial time, and look at the delight for South Africa, those players and supporters.
Unbelievable stroke this. It really was. Can only be put down to the incredible pressure that was on the batsman. This is a routine full toss. Played outside it, spun beautifully, and he lost his middle stump. Huge delight on all faces, but particularly Paul Adams. Alex Stewart goes for 5. England deep in trouble now at 66 for 5.
Oh, there it is.
We've been just talking about where he puts his foot. Now, this ball demanded that the left foot was put further across outside the off stump, but look where it is. Straight down the pitch. And that's why he's vulnerable all the time, even though the drive is his strength.
Much straighter, and he hits it very well down towards long off. Slowing up. Klusener's done well. Huge throw. Now that could be close. Kirsten didn't look too interested. Lots of others did.
Suddenly the umpires are put under enormous pressure. That's out. Oh, that's huge. That's a huge nick. That's all the way. And once again, umpire Kure, he's having a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. That was obvious. With that bat pad and the way he should have gone.
What about this one? For LBW, not out.
This was not a long way off. We'll have to see from the mat, I'm sure, as to where his foot was, but he doesn't usually put it outside the off stump. Here, and that's out. I'm sorry, but that is out. Look, he sees it pitch, and he sees it carry. That's dead straight. That's plumb. This is becoming worse than a nightmare.
Well, it's just going nowhere except straight on from there onto the stumps. Adams has said, thank you very much. I'll use these opportunities you're giving me and give umpire Kure something to do with his right arm.
Test cricket should not be subjected to this sort of standard of umpiring. I'm sorry.
Full toss clattered away.
Slight loss of rhythm by Paul Adams. It has to happen sometimes.
Well, that is a good cracking shot, in fact. Smashed away.
In the slot, this delivery, and you can see even though the feet don't go too far across again, he just swings the arms.
Collector back. Oh! Well, Adams has made a great save. But sadly, there's also a chance, but they've given an almighty crack.
Extremely difficult chance that he hit it very hard indeed.
He's cowed that away to deep mid-wicket for 4. This is how Caddick survived. So did umpire Kure.
I think he was very close to the firing line, umpire Kure. And then this was the last ball. Went into cow corner.
Oh, that's a beautiful shot. He has unleashed one or two magnificent shots, has Adams. And that was one of them.
What the great fast bowlers will say is you can do it once, you can do it twice, you can do it 3 times, you can do it 4 times, and maybe you'll be able to do it to me 5 times. That's hit me to the boundary. If I get you out the 6th time, I've won, because I've got my wicket at a cost of 20. Bear that in mind, Mr. Adams or Mr. Donald will say.
England 58 runs away from making South Africa bat again. Caught. It was short enough to play the shot. Only problem is he didn't get over it. He hit it very hard, but unfortunately straight at Herschel Gibbs at backward point. And the catch safely pouched, and Gibbs throws it away over his shoulder.
Donald picks up another wicket, and he was the happiest of the lot in this quest for 300. Andrew Caddick fought pretty hard for England. It's a desperate and hopeless cause. He'll be upset with himself, but he needn't be. This is a job that has to be done by people at the top of the order. South Africa are ahead of England, and they're proving it today. 14 for Caddick, 105 for 6 now, England.
Rare misfield from the South Africans, and it's gone for 4. Pollock the guilty party.
Yes, he didn't have very far to go. The ball was hit quite hard. It went off the toe of the bat, or towards the toe anyway. But frustration because Paul Adams needs to keep the pressure on.
Bowled him out, inside edge, onto the pad, I think, and then back onto the stumps. Adams strikes again. Adams, bowled Adams.
Well, really, that once again was a disappointing shot from a man who's claiming to be a test match batsman. Turning around, looking as though something was said to him, perhaps. But look at this shot. Thick inside edge. I suppose we could call him a bit unlucky. Thick inside edge, onto the back leg, and then onto the stumps. So Adams now goes for 31, and the England score 113 for 7.
In the air, out, caught mid-off. The catcher is Donald. Good catch too. Made to look reasonably simple. Goff goes. England are 8 down.
Darren Goff didn't play a dreadful shot here. It just came back at him a little bit off the wicket. And look at this for athleticism. There's a big man. He's semi-injured. He's gone off the field, and what a good catch. Quite rightly showing delight. Exceptionally good catch there. Darren Goff goes for 8. England now 125 for 8.
5 round the bat. Caught slip. Cullinan catches it. Adams wraps up the innings. Flintoff is not going to come out to bat. And England lose by an innings. Delight for Cronier. Sharp catch to slip. You can see how pleased all the South African team is, especially their captain. Absolutely over the moon.
Dear, oh dear, what disappointment for so many English supporters who have come to Cape Town. There was a real depression on their faces with a day now short in this match. England all out for 126. Andrew Flintoff unable to bat, a disappointment to him, a disappointment to England in general. But the real sadness is that the batting wasn't up to scratch, not just in this innings, but when they collapsed from 213 for 3 to 258 all out in the first innings. The card today, only Michael Atherton and Chris Adams making any impression. Everybody else finding it very hard work against some tough and disciplined South African bowling. Looking at those figures, Adams, of course, bowled the first over on the previous evening. 19.3, 3 for 42 for an ever-improving wrist spinner. 1 for 35, Donald. He has 290 Test match wickets now, just 10 to go to the magic 300. 2 for 19, Sean Pollock. He bowled quite beautifully at times. Jacques Kallis 1 for 19. The outswinger is working well. And Lance Klusener is back as a bowler, make no mistake. Important wickets at the top of the order. 7 overs, 4 maidens, 2 for 8. Well, Cullinan was chosen as the man of the match. That was something of surprise. The victory was by an innings and 37 runs. The series has been won by 2-0. And after play, I had a chat first with Nasser Hussein and then later with Hansi Cronje. Nasser, the batting let you down.
Yeah, especially first innings. 200 for 3 after winning the toss. The wicket was getting better. Second day was always going to be the best day to bat on it. To collapse for 255 all out, it's just not good enough, really.
Certain players were chosen specifically by England to be part of a new England. Who do you think will go on? Who's impressed you?
Well, I'm not going to stand here and separate who's, you know, it's up to them. They've had limited chances so far. They've got another test to impress. You know, obviously Michael Vaughan has come in and impressed with the bat. And as you saw, Chris Silverwood's got the biggest heart a captain could ever ask for with the ball. Every time I look up for someone to bowl, he's almost staring me in the face. So there are definitely positives that have come out of this tour so far. But all I want is every individual played in this game to have a look, analyse their game, work out why we lost it, work out how they can get better, and then take that into the next test match. That's all we can do, really.
Hansi, well done. That was a most efficient performance.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought other than the first session where England played really good cricket and got 150 not for nothing, it was a big turnaround for us after lunch on the first day, and it started with the leader of the pack in Alan Donald getting the 2 openers out for us, and then really getting the ball rolling and good support from all the other bowlers.
I feel that this team has, say, 7, 8, maybe 9 players absolutely at their peak.
I think I've been really blessed throughout my campaign as captain of the side to have been blessed with so many fantastic players. If you look at the 1999 all-time run scorers, averages, bowlers, fielders, everyone's up there, and it's really been fantastic for me. Tight situations, you've got 3 or 4 players to call on, and that's been the key for the side.
You signalled out there Alan Donald. Without ever quite bowling, I feel, at his best, he's taking wickets almost with the power of his personality.
He's tremendous. That's a sign of a good player. You know, when you're not in good nick, you can still score runs and take wickets. And he's obviously important to the team and in the balance of the makeup of the team. And I've played with him since the age of 13, and it's tremendous to have somebody like that around.
Series is gone, but you go to Pretoria with a test match left and a lot of names to be made.
Yeah, definitely. A lot of names to be. You're exactly right there. There's opportunities when we get back to England. There's a test match to be won. We've put in a lot of effort here on this tour so far, and 2-1 sounds a hell of a lot better than 3-0, I know that much.
What about the South Africans? Do you think that you're playing against an outstanding side?
I think we're playing against a side who are difficult to beat in that they have depth in their batting. You know, with someone like Boucher coming in at 9, you're almost having to bowl them out twice, and you know, we're just going to have to work hard at that. They're a very good side. Nothing's changed from when we came out here. We came out to compete, playing against the top side, and they've shown it in the last 2 or 3 games that they're a very difficult side to bowl out twice.
So if you're measuring yourself, you're doing it against, would you say, one of the 2 best sides in the world, along with Australia?
Definitely. They're different sides. I think Australia has a bit more genius about it, you know, in Vaughan and people like this. And I think this is just almost like a military operation from South Africa. They give you very few chances, and they pack their batting and grind you down. And we've got to be, when it goes to Centurion, we've got to make sure we grind them down.
There have been times recently when you've looked a little down on yourself. It's hard for a captain when you don't make runs. Is this enough of a boost to lift you back up again?
I hope so. I mean, you know, last year I was scoring runs and we didn't win the series. This year we won the series. I didn't score any runs, so I'll take the series win. But personally, it hurts when you're not contributing. You sit there with 11 fantastic players in the team, in the dressing room, sharing thoughts with them, and you feel a bit of a dud when you don't score runs and don't contribute. So you try your best to make up with a bit of fielding and a bit of bowling and a bit of captaincy, but obviously I'm there as a batter, so I'd like to start contributing with the bat as well.
Well, I think you've captained outstandingly well. You're going to Pretoria now. Are you expecting them to bounce back, or do you suspect that you've got them where you want them?
Well, I think that Andy Caddick to me has been the outstanding bowler of the series from an England point of view, and it's going to depend how much gas he's got left in himself. He obviously bowled a tremendous amount of overs in England. He's bowled a lot of overs here. He bowled 3 days on the trot in Durban where it was extremely hot. He looked a little bit weary in this test match and still continued to impress. So it's going to very much depend on how well he comes out in Pretoria. From a batting point of view, they can't just keep sort of resting on Atherton, Stewart and Hussein. They're going to have to look at somebody else to score runs as well.
Lastly, is the dressing room very low, or do you feel that the spirit that you've built is still there and it will be possible to lift them for Pretoria?
I feel that the spirit's still there, but they're obviously very disappointed at the moment.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Mark.
A majestic performance from the South Africans, suitably reflecting the majestic mountain that stands behind me. For Nasser Hussein, it's right to talk in positives, but it's going to be hard for England to win in Pretoria. The batsmen simply aren't firing against this very impressive South African side, as has been pointed out by Hansie Cronje. It does depend a lot on Stewart, Atherton and Hussein. Now, a reminder for you that we've got a talk-in on the website, www.channel4.com, if you'd like to have a chat with me about anything that's gone on in this series or anything on Channel 4 cricket in general. I'll remind you of that address again, www.channel4.com. Also a reminder that we've got highlights for you from Pretoria, the final test match of the series, and they'll be beginning on the 14th of January. That's it really from Cape Town. I'm standing beneath gorgeous sunshine. It's a lovely place to be, unless of course you're an English supporter. Bye-bye.
And as the series has finished early, we have another chance to giggle with Adam and Joe tomorrow at 11:35.
Yes.